Hi all, DT Neal here, yet again, talking a little bit more about eco horror. And the second book of mine that I wanted to mention is The Day of the Nightfish, another nautical eco horror tale. And despite the sort of capricious, almost cheeky title, A Day of the Nightfish, with that sort of old style, theremin toned, woo, menace of it, that story, also a novella, was very much, from me, a critique of consumer culture, influencer culture, people's lack of awareness of where their food might come from. There's definitely a trend. People always say, the Bismarck quote about politics and sausage making. You don't want to see the sausage get made. There's a lot of that in The Day of the Nightfish, and that you have this nameless protagonist by intent. I didn't name him because I wanted him to be just sort of this everyman who is a foodie and an aspirational chef, and he wants to learn about this new food called nightfish, which has been this. It's a food fad, and everyone's wanting this exotic food, and he goes on a little quest to find out where it really came from. And again, no spoilers, but he learns way more than he intended. And The Day of the Nightfish is absolutely, for me, another eco-horror story with, I would freely admit, Lovecraftian or neo-Lovecraftian overtones or undertones. Day of the Nightfish. And it, the main character manages to connive to get himself to the company that manufactures nightfish, and he learns, and he gets to go out on a fishing trawler to acquire this prized delicacy, and he is forever changed by that experience. And I really like Day of the Nightfish. I originally sent it out as a short story, and it got shortlisted with Albedo One, Ireland's science fiction fantasy magazine, and then it was just shortlisted. It didn't go from there, but I remember revisiting that one and thinking, there's more to this story than just the original short story. So let me make it bigger, make it a novella, and so that became Day of the Nightfish. I like that story a lot. There's interesting intersections between virtual living, virtual culture. The main character's girlfriend is Jade Kincaid, and she's an influencer, and she loves nightfish. She's the one who introduced him to nightfish, and he goes off kind of to war in a way, in terms of where he learns more than he perhaps wanted to, and is forever transformed by that. I think it's a decent story, and there is a sequel I have in mind for it, which I will revisit at some point. I have drafted notes on it, and I've done a few scenes for it over the years since that one came out. But it has the sequel hasn't lived yet, but it will eventually, because I think that there are overtures of imperialism and colonialism, consumerism, all those isms coming together on the plate as you're gobbling down some nightfish. It did for me the duty that I required of it, for it to be a capable representation of eco horror, just from a different lens than Relict. Relict was very personal, almost like abject tourists running themselves into trouble. The lead character of Nightfish is much more of a hipster dilettante, and getting behind the curtain and going, oh my gosh, this is bad. And his glimpse behind that curtain, I think, paved the way in my head for an eventual sequel that will occur down the road. I like that one a lot. There is the sense of the decline and fall of American manufacturing, and American society unraveling in the face of larger market forces. So I think readers who like nautical adventures and like creature features, like neo-Lovecraftian things, might enjoy The Day of the Night Fish.